All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into one of the most powerful forces in business. It's a concept that can take a tiny startup and turn it into this unbeatable giant. It's called the network effect. And trust me, once you get it, you're going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
So let's start with a question. What do things like Facebook, Uber, and even your credit card all have in common? I mean, on the surface, they seem totally different, right? You've got a social network, a ride-sharing app, a payment system, but they all share this secret ingredient that is just fundamental to their success.
And here it is. It's that their value depends completely on how many other people are using them. Think about it. A credit card is just a useless piece of plastic if no stores accept it. A phone doesn't do you much good if there's no one to call. So the value isn't really in the thing itself. It's in the network of people and businesses that are connected to it.
So this brings us to the formal definition. The network effect. It's when a product or service gets more valuable to its users simply because more people are using it. Now, it's really important to get this. This isn't like a fashion trend, which is all about, subjective hype. This is an objective increase in value. The more people that join, the more genuinely useful the service becomes for literally everyone on it.
Okay, so how does a company actually build this incredible advantage? We're going to walk through the whole journey, step by step, from its biggest weakness all the way to its greatest strength.
All right, step one, the useless at first problem. This is the big one, the chicken or egg dilemma. You see, any service that relies on a network starts out with this huge hurdle. When it first launches, it's kind of useless. And this is a classic paradox that can kill a brilliant idea before it even has a chance to get going.
I mean, seriously, why would you join a social network if none of your friends are on it? Or why would you open a ride-sharing app if there are no drivers available? Exactly, you wouldn't. This is that chicken or egg problem in a nutshell. Drivers won't sign up if there are no riders, but riders won't open an app that doesn't have any drivers. So how does a service like this ever get off the ground?
Well, the goal is to reach this tipping point called critical mass. Just look at this. In the beginning, when there are only a few users, the value you get is super low. It's definitely not worth the cost or the hassle of signing up. But if a platform can just push past that point, if it can get to critical mass, the value suddenly skyrockets. And that creates this powerful magnetic pull for new users to finally join in.
So how do you solve that chicken or egg problem and actually hit critical mass? This is where the strategy comes in. It's all about a really clever way of getting those first crucial people in the door.
The key, a lot of the time, is to stop thinking about these companies as selling a single product. Instead, you have to see them as two-sided markets, or you could call them matchmaking platforms. Their whole job is just to connect two totally different groups, buyers and sellers, riders and drivers, or in a classic example like a video game console, you've got the players on one side and the game developers on the other.
And the solution is pretty brilliant, actually. You heavily subsidize one side of that market to attract the other side. So console makers will literally sell their hardware at a loss, just to build up a huge base of players. Why? Because that huge player base then attracts game developers, who are the ones who pay the big licensing fees. Or think about job sites. They're usually free for us, right? The job seekers? We build up this huge talent pool that companies and recruiters then pay to get access to. It's like one side is the bait and the other side is where the profit comes from.
And we've all seen this strategy in action, right? It's the freemium model. It usually comes in one of two flavors. You either pay for more, where you get a limited amount for free, like a few news articles a month, or you pay for better, where the basic version is totally free, but you have to pay for the advanced features, like with LinkedIn Premium or Spotify. But either way, the goal is exactly the same. Get you on the platform and have you start contributing to the value of the network for everyone else.
Okay, so you did it. You lit the spark. You've reached critical mass. What's next? Well, now the goal is to fan those flames, to turn that spark into a roaring fire, and to build a service that becomes almost impossible for your users to leave.
And this happens through something called indirect network effects. This is huge. So the value of an iPhone, for instance, isn't just the phone itself. Of course not. It's the entire ecosystem of millions of apps, cases, and accessories that are built for it. Every single new app that gets released makes the iPhone just a little bit more valuable, which attracts more users, which in turn attracts even more developers. It's this powerful, self-reinforcing loop that just keeps going.
And what this ecosystem does
is it creates what economists call switching costs. Think about it. The more time you pour into a platform, building up your profile, making friends, curating all your playlists, the bigger a pain it is to leave. Starting all over from zero on some new app, that just feels like a ton of work. And that feeling effectively locks you in.
So this all leads to a giant, unbeatable fortress with super high walls, right? A dominant position that just seems impossible to challenge. But is that really the end of the story? Is it really that simple?
Well, you hear the phrase winner takes all thrown around a lot, but honestly, it's mostly a myth. It's really rare for a market to become a pure monopoly with just one player. Instead, the dynamic is more like winners take most. What that means is a few big players end up dominating, but there's almost always still room for smaller, niche competitors to survive and even thrive. And one of the key reasons for this is that we as users, we're not always that loyal. There's a behavior called multi-homing. I bet you do this. You probably have both the Uber and the Lyft app on your phone, right? You open both to check who has a better price or a faster pickup. This simple act keeps those huge companies on their toes because they know we can easily switch to whoever is offering the better deal at any given moment.
And this actually reveals a really critical limit to the network effect. Bigger isn't always better. In fact, sometimes growth can totally backfire. If you get too many users, you can get congestion, right? And if you attract the wrong kind of users, think spammers, trolls, people posting low-quality stuff on Airbnb, they can actually poison the well. They make the network less valuable for all the good users.
So this brings us to the ultimate takeaway. The strongest, most durable fortresses, the best networks, they aren't just built on raw user numbers. They're built on user value. It's not just a numbers game, it's a value game. The platforms that really last are the ones that obsessively protect the quality of their network, making sure that every new person who joins actually makes the experience better, not worse. And that leaves us with one final provocative thought. These digital fortresses, as strong as they seem, are not truly unbeatable. If some innovative startup comes along and can solve a problem in a better way, if they can create a higher quality network, and if they can successfully light that initial spark to get past critical mass, they can challenge even the biggest giants out there. So, what's the next great platform that's going to master the network effect? For all you know, it might already be an app sitting on your phone right now.